I don't see you as different. I don't think you're different. I think you're such a great kid and a great guy. Not a kid. You're just younger than me, right? So I say kid that way, but you're a grown-ass man, so I appreciate that. Zach, what does having autism mean to you, if anything?
Having autism, if you know someone with autism, you know one kind of autism. It's like having a mental fingerprint. Each fingerprint, even on your hand, is different, between twins even. Yeah, there's similarities, like we tend to have more IQ than EQ, but we have trouble expressing, and IQ is the intelligence quota, which isn't necessarily a measure of how smart you are, but how well you can learn. And then EQ is how well you can pick up on emotional things and usually even express the information you've learned from the intelligence quota side of things.
92.5% of the people who watch this show have not yet subscribed. That is not okay on the I Am Not Okay channel. If we are going to grow and change the way that life is done, we need you to speak up, step up, and show up. And that starts with hitting the subscribe button. And if you're able, please comment, like, and share any and all episodes. Now, on to the show. Welcome to Bear It All, the Kintsugi Chronicles, here on the I Am Not Okay channel, where we gather our broken pieces in search of gold. My name is John Bear, and today I am joined by a very, very special guest, Mr. Zachary Davies. How are you, sir?
Doing good, thank you.
So great to see you, my man. Listen, everybody, Zach is a student here at Bare Knuckle Strength. And if you've been watching the podcast for any length of time, hopefully you have, even the newest ones, you were able to see Zach's dad, Marc Davies, was here on our podcast. Zach, what did you think about your dad being on the podcast?
Well, honestly, it was a bit strange because normally the things he brought up will bring up together on things like panels for autism research and community help. It's a path he started on his own because when I was in third grade, I did not know anything near what I do about myself now. And he had to figure out how to get me the tools to figure it out. And it was nice to see him stepping into that on his own again.
That's wonderful. Listen, so I'm going to give everybody a little bit of a context. Marc said this on his podcast. Zach is autistic. And like Zach just said, his dad had to learn when Zach was really young how to help Zach get the tools that he needed so that Marc could be a good dad and Zach could get the things that he needed. So let's start right there, Zach. And you said some of the panels and things, but you know what? I really want to ask you. I don't see you as different. I don't think you're different. I think you're such a great kid and a great guy. Not a kid. You're just younger than me, right? So I say kid that way. But you're a grown-ass man, so I appreciate that. Zach, what does having autism mean to you, if anything?
Well, having autism, there's a few ways I'd like to talk about it.
Sure.
First one is, if you know someone with autism, you know one kind of autism. There's so many different variations. It's like having a mental fingerprint. Each fingerprint, even on your hand, is different, between twins even. So, yeah, there's similarities, like we tend to have more IQ than EQ, but we have trouble expressing, and IQ is the intelligence quota, which isn't necessarily a measure of how smart you are, but how well you can learn. And then EQ is how well you can pick up on emotional things and usually even express the information you've learned from the intelligence quota side of things.
So your dad was talking a little bit about how did you come to learn the difference between IQ and EQ? They started testing you when you were a kid, and apparently you broke the tests.
Oh, yeah.
That he was talking about that. So how did
I
we...
love that story.
Okay, so let's fill in your side.
So when I help with studies, I need to have had a IQ test done at least once a year
Okay.
in order to prove that I'm autistic for the study's validity.
Okay. What was the standard for that? Like your IQ had to be below a certain threshold, or?
Honestly, I haven't been involved in that validity side of it.
How to score it, yeah.
Yeah. I want to know.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Okay.
And I have goals in that regard too.
Yeah.
But so I don't keep rambling about this for the moment.
It's okay. Ramble.
I scored top percentile in logic and reasoning, but as the bottom 99.9 percentile for computation speed. And a large part of that is that's how I was taught to take multiple choice tests.
Got it.
Look at every answer, even if you have the right one. I was taught that for the PSSAs, which is the standardized tests that I had to take with Pennsylvania before I was given my autism diagnosis and then taken out of that. And the ACTs, SATs, and professional exams I've done in the past as well. There's usually 2 answers you could knock out. An answer that's almost right, it's a trap. And then the answer that is correct.
Got it. Okay. So your dad also talked about when you were a kid, then I think he said it was a little after kindergarten that he started to notice what you just said, that I guess your processing speed, your computational speed was different than other kids. But he didn't know that meant you were autistic. He just noticed that you were learning a little differently.
Yep. Initially, I was diagnosed with ADHD because they knew more about that than autism at the time.
Got it.
And so ADHD and autism are similar diagnoses. Mm-hmm. They share a lot of traits, but one has more emotional responses as well. Mm-hmm. Where ADHD, at least the version of it I was taught, the diagnostic manual changes its opinion on this every now and then, is more focus and energy regulation. Mm-hmm. If you add in the emotional regulation, I was told that's when it becomes autism. But I'm not a professional in that field, so
Yeah.
that is not diagnostic advice.
Nope, just your comments, on it.
Just what I've been led to understand. Yes.
Okay. Zach, when or if did you notice around that time that you had a harder time learning things or picking things up, or
As early as 1st grade, I knew I was learning things different than everybody.
1st grade? So is that 6, 7 years old?
Yep.
Yep.
And then there was a our school assembly on ADHD, which I self-identified as ADHD because I didn't know about autism yet. They're like, no, you're not ADHD. You can focus. You can sit still sometimes. I'm like, yeah, but it's very hard. And if you don't notice, I'm always tapping. I'm always twisting my wrists around. I struggle. I'm like, yeah, but ADHD people can't handle that at all. I'm like, that's what you think.
Thanks for telling me what you don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You brought that up. Your dad said that was some of the stuff that he started to notice in maybe your instructors or the people there. Like you said, you would twitch or fidget and just kind of move around and process, and it was your way of figuring out how to move those things through your body.
Yep.
But they were telling you not to do that.
Correct.
As early as how old?
It's something I've had probably kindergarten. I don't remember those days as well.
Sure.
And it's something that I've had through high school and some college professors as well.
Okay. So for you, in your words, because I know what your dad said about it, but what does that kind of movement do for you? What does that help you accomplish?
Well, some of it helps me get nervous energy out.
Sure.
Like this wrist twitch. Sometimes it's just getting a minimum amount of motion or energy or thoughts done. Like if I'm thinking about twitching, because sometimes there's like a minimum amount of thoughts I have to have, or I get lost in thought, or I get bored, or something just doesn't feel right.
Got it. Okay.
And recently I've noticed I literally think better with motion. So pacing, walking out, I'm thinking way better than sitting still in a classroom. And I process faster as well.
Did you know there's been some studies done that show that kids retain more after they have recess?
That tracks with my life experiences.
So your experiential evidence shows up, and we have some science that shows,
Yep.
hey, everybody, movement really matters, and it's important for your bodies.
Yeah.
Zach found that out on his own.
As long as I didn't overexert and exhaust myself, I was doing better afterwards.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So, Zach, we had you in school. We understood that you started to learn a little differently. What was it like going through school then? Once your professor or your teacher started to catch up with Zach learns differently, did they bend the curriculum to help you learn it better, or did they try to fit you in a different box?
They put me in a completely different box.
Oh, boy. Okay.
So initially, my school district wanted to keep me because funding is better that way.
Oh, interesting.
And then they wanted to put me in just the special ed track, where the final exam for high school would have been a Mark 911 call where we're reporting an emergency. As a point of reference, I'm going through firefighter training right now to actually be the one responding to that call. So, little different.
So that's fascinating. I bet there's a lot of people out there that think that people with autism are of no use. They're not able to be a firefighter. Zach, how is it that you're breaking down these stigmas?
Well, a lot of it for me is I don't want to stop learning. And if something's getting in my way, I'm going to find a way around it until it's not practical to be doing that job anymore.
Got it.
There's a policy, a federal law about reasonable exemptions and accommodations, but the rule there is reasonable.
For school kids?
No, even in the workplace.
Oh, okay. So I got you.
So like, if I could reasonably do this job, I want to figure out a way to do it.
Got it.
I used that to get through maritime training, which is large boats. I was literally allowed to drive a 10,000-ton oil tanker before I got my learner's permit to drive a car on the road. Things like that. And yeah, they had to teach me a little differently, but I passed the same test as everybody else. And they found ways to accommodate me when things came up, as long as it wasn't a mission critical issue or actually important to safety of the ship.
Okay. Okay. So before we hop into talking about like your maritime training and things like that, because that is fascinating to me. And yeah, you heard him. I hope you heard him. He could drive an oil tanker before he could drive a car. How about that? Okay, that's fascinating. Zach, for kids that are in primary school, we'll call it, or like elementary, middle school, high school, those years, what would you say to a kid who might have autism that's having a hard time learning? How could you advocate for that kid? What did you learn that maybe you wish they had taught you or you had known?
Well, for the kid, if you think you're not in the right environment, say something. Information is way easier to find nowadays than when I was going through this. Push because there's so much more information, and literally the internet is faster.
Yeah.
I don't do this stuff on dial-up. Some of the time.
Dial-up, do you guys even know what that is anymore?
The fastest speed for internet I had every now and then was 16 kilobits a second. Nowadays, we're going in multiple gigabits a second.
You heard that, right, everybody? Yeah. We got this guy here, the tech genius. Zach, what kind of person should an autistic child talk to? Somebody they feel comfortable with, somebody they feel safe with? Who should they speak to?
Well, the teachers, if you're comfortable, but also because it puts them on record.
Got it.
Find a way to get on record. Email them, text chain.
There you go.
And loop your parents in because they are usually more listened to than the kid.
Okay.
And if the environment isn't working, there's something called free appropriate education, which is part of the American Disabilities Act, which is the same one that gives me reasonable accommodations in the workforce.
Free appropriate education?
So if the public school system isn't working,
Yep.
it is incumbent or required that that district finds a school that can give me appropriate education.
Okay.
Even if it's a middle ground between the normal school courses and the special ed courses they wanted to start me in. Or if it's a more advanced class in some areas and a slower course in others, they have to make all good faith to find that kind of environment.
The Public Disabilities Act, you said? What was the name of that?
The American Disabilities Act.
American Disabilities Act. So make sure that we're looking that up. If you're not getting the environment that you need to learn and you feel like you need a better environment, you are entitled to that. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, Zach, you made it through school. You passed all these same tests that all these other kids did, just in your different, unique way.
Yeah. And another big point I have that took forever to get schools to understand.
Yeah.
If I'm having trouble at home, it's probably because I had trouble at school the rest during the day. There's no clear delineation of, oh, this is a school problem, this is a home problem. It's mixed. It's a life problem.
How do you mean trouble? Like you had a bad day, you're having a tough day processing?
Like if I'm overloaded when I get home.
Got it.
It doesn't mean, oh, suddenly it's an issue of home. It could be it was a school bus issue. It could be I had a really bad problem in fourth period that lasted the entire day.
Got it.
Who knows?
Got it. Okay. Actually, before we hop forward a little bit, your dad said that once you understood that you had the diagnosis of autism and your teachers did, you were able to communicate with them in a way. For example, I think they said, Zach, like if you're feeling like your overload number gets to 6 or 7 or whatever it was, we need you to tell us and you can go into another room and kind of learn how to dial that back. Speak to that. Tell us what that kind of looked like.
So once I knew there was something, I started to figure out thoughts that I could put to it.
Got it.
The very old saying, I do not know what I do not know. I didn't know that there was an actual problem that could be addressed. So I didn't know how to fix it.
Got it.
Once I started seeing, oh, this is an addressable thing, there's a name for it, I could figure this out. It gave me hope, and it gave me tools to start finding a blueprint.
Yeah, okay. And your teachers worked with you to find that?
Yes.
Wonderful. So then that means you were in the environment that you needed?
Yep.
Okay. So you finished school in the environment you needed. Anything you want to say sort of about primary school or high school or anything before we jump to Maritime?
So it's never going to be a perfect environment. There's always going to be ups and downs and things you don't like. As much as I hate to admit it, sometimes you just need to find the best fit out of the options.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to change options. Like in my post-high school education, colleges, I went to 3 different colleges before I graduated.
Okay. So let's talk about that. You graduated high school.
Yep.
What was the first college you went to?
The first I did a gap year program to try and test Maritime School. Because initially I wanted to go to SUNY Maritime, which is in New York, where my cousin worked, which how I found out about Maritime School in the first place. There was a gap year program being set up by a small school in Massachusetts, northeast to Maritime, where I ended up going, designed to get people interested. I was the one who signed up. They almost canceled the program, but the guy in charge liked me enough, he offered to do the program just for me.
Oh, wow.
So I spent about 10 weeks living out of a hotel, attending professional development maritime classes.
In New York?
In Massachusetts.
Oh, that was in Massachusetts.
Yes.
Apologies. Okay.
And then I decided I'm going to try regular college. And LaSalle University in Philadelphia reached out to me asking me to help them test and set up a special ed support program for the university.
How did they find out about you?
I was helping with Central Autism Research at a shop a little bit at that point, and speaking on panels, and I got friendly with the people who showed up. I talked to people.
Okay. Yeah.
And then that project didn't really work out, and they were charging an arm and a leg for me, even though by that point I had 2 or 3 different deans trying to keep me, which is confusing why they let me go at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I went to a school in Maryland, McDaniel, which supposedly had an amazing special ed program. On paper, it did.
Okay.
On way too much paper, it did.
Got it.
I'm pretty sure that some of my dad's law books were less dense than the supports they were offering me. And they gave it to me all at once on paper.
Overwhelming?
Extremely overwhelming, and I couldn't search the document to find what I needed.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what I had,
Got it.
which caused a bunch of issues. And not all the professors had to follow it.
Okay.
I ended up leaving there for a host of other issues, which I'm not really going to get into.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, SUNY, what was the name of the program in Massachusetts?
Northeast Maritime Institute.
Northeast Maritime. And then we went to McDaniel.
I went to LaSalle
LaSalle, and then McDaniel.
and then McDaniel.
Got it.
When I was at McDaniel, they took the freshmen to the movie theaters, and I saw Moana, of all things.
Okay.
And Moana, if somehow you don't know the story, is about someone who loves the ocean and fixes it, pretty much. But in more Disney princessy terms.
Sure.
And before I got back to campus, I reached out to the guy who ran the gap year program because he was starting a college at the same time. It was a startup. It wasn't fully accredited yet, but it's what I wanted. And we arranged for me to start the next semester before I even got back from the movie theater.
So that movie, it clearly hit you in a spot where
Yep.
you didn't see coming, or it was like, wow, uncovered something I'm really passionate about.
It reminded me of what I wanted, and it showed me a path beyond this isn't working. It showed me, oh, maybe I should try this again. Maybe I should go back and continue this education.
How early did you know that you loved the sea and wanted to fix it?
I've always loved the water. It's
Okay, yeah.
a weird thing a bunch of autistic people have, I've been told. I'm just drawn to it. No one really knows why.
To water.
Yes.
Calming, maybe.
Yeah. Probably calming noises,
Grounding, yeah.
good visuals. There's all sorts of different stimuli that are different with water than land or air.
Got it. Okay. So now, before you even get back to McDaniel's campus, you know that you reached out and you want to attend this program and have been accepted.
Yes.
Okay.
I used a back door to get in, which is how most autistic people get their jobs anyway.
What's the back door?
the back door is non-traditional means of communicating and getting accepted into things. Like, hey, I have a friend. That friend reaches out on my behalf. Give me a test.
Got it.
Or something like that.
Is that what you did? You reached out to a friend who reached out to, or you?
I was friends with the boss, so
You are ready. So you went right to the
Yep.
skip that step. Okay. So now we're accepted into this program. What happens from when we're at McDaniel to Zach's in Massachusetts again?
So when we went up to Massachusetts again, which was I left McDaniel in the middle of winter, end of the fall semester, and I started Northeast Maritime in the spring semester.
Oh wow! Yeah.
They didn't have dorms. They still don't really have dorms. They have houses that the school owns. So I started in a hotel. Then I became friends with a family that I was renting an Airbnb from, and they modified a basement so I could live there. And so it was tough schooling. It was very hard. We started with a very high credit load. It was a cram school, kind of. We took almost 4 years worth of school, and feasibly you could do it in 2 years.
Straight through? Was there any summer breaks or anything?
Nope.
Okay, so it was, yeah, you were on.
I didn't do that speed because I couldn't keep up.
Got it.
And then COVID on top of that.
Sure.
But they started you in a cohort system. You had the kids you started with, or students, and you had all your classes with them. You had the same break periods, same assignments, everything. You were working together as a crew, which for most of the cohorts worked very well. And I really loved that concept because it was community. Again, it was forced community,
Sure.
but we had each other's backs the best we could.
What was it like being on your own living and things like that? Like figuring out how to do that and not be at home?
So when I was, well, the worst of it was probably actually when I was at McDaniel, because I had nothing of home. But when I was at McDaniel, I got permission to bring my cat Lilo as an ESA, emotional support animal. And she doesn't count as a pet for lodging purposes, but she's not a service animal for public or transportation purposes.
Okay.
It's a middle ground.
So having your support was able to help you manage
Yes.
any ups and downs that you might have had?
It helped me deal with loneliness. She was an anchor. She reminded me of a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And she was a very calming presence
Yeah.
for 18 years.
Yeah.
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 Okay, hold on. So, unfortunately, a few days ago, and by the time this airs, it's going to probably be weeks or months ago, but a few days ago, Lilo unfortunately passed away.
Yeah. It was exactly a week ago, 1 hour ago, as the time of recording.
Remember that. 18 years of emotional support, and he was able to go to school because he had an animal that he knew was there for him when he got home. Very important to know.
Yeah.
Let's move forward.
Yep.
I know that's heavy. So you're at school. You're starting to manage how to take care of yourself. You have Lilo there when you get back home. How long were you in school for? How long did your program go?
Well, before I answer that, I did have a lot of other supports.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Massachusetts
Apologies.
has, well, at least had programs that were funded that were specifically for special ed people such as myself trying to live on their own and trying to get into the workforce, go through college, things like that. Which I had people coming to help me figure out how to cook and clean, which I still struggle with, and do human social activities that my ESA couldn't.
Like what?
Going laser tagging,
Oh, okay.
or just going jogging with somebody and chatting.
Got it.
Things like that.
Okay. Did you enjoy those things?
Oh, I loved those things.
Okay, great.
Having people
Yeah.
that were both trained to help
Mm-hmm.
and didn't make it look like a lesson
Mm.
or direct support
Mm-hmm.
was so nice.
That's why
Yeah.
we uncover those little rocks.
Yeah, I knew they were there to support me, but I knew they were also being my friend at the same time.
Is there anybody in
Even
particular?
though they're being paid for it.
Sorry. Is there anybody in particular you'd like to shout out, or just a service that really helped you?
Well, the local group for me was MO Life over in Fairhaven, Massachusetts.
Okay.
They were an amazing group of people. I miss them.
MO Life. Thank you very much for taking care of Zach. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had the support system.
Mm-hmm.
How long with your support system and feeling like you could be grounded and you have human contact, you have a community, and sounded like an environment and somebody you wanted to learn with.
Mm-hmm.
So did that bring some of the best out of you then?
Yeah, it definitely helped me go forward, helped me want to keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
It propelled me. And yeah, my dad was coming up a lot to visit and help,
Sure.
but it was some of the best schooling I've ever had.
Hmm.
And the most effective schooling I've ever had, partly because it was a niche topic, which if you have a friend who's autistic, you know if they get interested in a niche topic, they're going to figure out everything there is to know about it.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So how long were you in school? Was it
So,
3 or 4 years?
Let me see. I did 1.5 semesters, and then I took a leave of absence for a semester. Actually, it might have been 2 whole years, and then I did a leave of absence.
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID started.
Right.
And I restarted midway through COVID on a hybrid in-person online course.
Got it. Were you still in Massachusetts at that point?
During COVID, I was bouncing between Massachusetts and Pennsylvania.
Got it.
Based on social need and how bad the lockdown was.
Yep. Yep.
And then I graduated right during the release of COVID's lockdown.
What was that, 22 or late 21?
Uh,
Or 23? Were they coming out of it there?
it was like fall 23, I believe.
Got it. Right. That's when it, like, I think officially lifted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
We were
like June
Yeah.
or something.
We had this strange thing I love where graduation was 2 weeks into the start of the the fall semester. It gave time for the graduates to meet and pass wisdom on to the incoming class,
Very nice.
which I like that. I like that tradition.
Yeah.
I like having things come full circle.
Why?
Well, it gives a sense of completeness to me.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I find that I could test myself on what I know best based on how well I can teach it.
Very good.
Something I picked up fencing.
A whole nother avenue we need to
Yep.
explore there. Okay. So
Yeah.
what else would you, so we graduated kind of right at the end of COVID, 23-ish. What happens then? We stay in Massachusetts and we come back home?
So I ended up not going onto the boats side of Maritime like I initially planned.
Oh,
I got looped into a different business that the head of the school has, which would be the Dominica Maritime Registry Incorporated. I tracked ships, figured things out that needed to get passed up chain of command for safety issues.
mm-hmm.
That's what I can say about that publicly.
Sure. Is that something you still do to this day?
It is something I still help with.
Okay. Very cool. So what was it, like late 24 then? I think you said you came home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isolation, living alone,
Yeah.
My housing was not the best.
Yeah.
And I was driving down from Massachusetts basically to here every weekend, every other weekend.
Yeah.
I ended up saving money from tolls and gas on just moving down.
So it was like you were up in Massachusetts, you had finished school, you're kind of working with the Maritime University a little bit, but still wanting to be around those you love, your family, your brothers,
Yep.
right? Your mom, everything. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
All my friends were down here, and with things opening back up,
Yep.
I wanted to get back into the world.
Got it. Okay. So before we come back into the world, because that's kind of where you and I intersect a little bit. Mm-hmm. But before you intersect with me, there's some things you were doing that when you intersect with me, you want to get better at. Fencing is one of them.
Yeah.
How did you get into fencing, Zach?
So I got into fencing off a tangent from an old TV show on PBS Kids, Zoom. Zoom had skits, and they had like a block where they brought up something cool somebody did. They videotaped it and sent it in. There was something about fencing. I was like, ooh, that is awesome. I want to do it. I found a fencing club. I joined that. Didn't do too well in my first few tries. Ended up letting that go for a while, but I went back into it during high school. And
So how old were you when you first picked it up, though? So I'm missing like 12, 13-ish, 14?
when I first picked it up, I think I was 10, maybe.
Okay. And actually, so for those that might not know, I know fencing. What is fencing?
I started with what's known as Olympic fencing. If you've ever seen the Summer Olympics, it's that sword fighting with, there's 3 different blade divisions. There's foil, which is just thrusting. Torso is your target. And then saber, which was a cavalry weapon. You had a cutting edge, and you could still thrust. Torso, arms, and your head were target. And then there was my favorite, epee, which was actually designed initially not to be lethal. It was a gentleman's dueling weapon designed to go just to the blood instead of to the death. And your whole body was target.
Okay. And so sword fighting, basically.
Yeah, it's
safe.
It's controlled sword fighting on a single strip. There's no left or right. There's just forward and back.
Got it. And you started this saw it around 10 years old.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe even earlier.
Okay.
Time before in that time frame is wibbly.
Did you do it all the way through graduation, and then were you able to find a club when you were in Massachusetts?
Oh, no. There was a very long gap.
Okay, yeah, so.
And then I restarted from the beginning when I was towards the end of my high school.
Got it.
But I quickly picked it up after that long break and got to the point where they didn't want me competing, but I was so good at teaching and helping my class. They brought me on to help teach other classes and a summer camp. And then I went away to college, and that fell off again. Okay. I tried getting back into it during COVID because it was a surprisingly COVID-safe activity. You're wearing a mask anyway, and if someone gets within 6 feet of you, you hit them.
Yeah. Stay away.
Exactly.
Well, that's actually was a good idea.
But I took a leg injury and got a job at the same time, so that didn't work out as well.
Got it.
Yeah. I still stop in every now and then at the old fencing club, but I also, at an event I went to with some friends, picked up something called Ludo Sport.
And this was the thing you brought to me when I first met.
This is what I brought to you.
Yeah, right away. You were like, do you know this? And I was like, no, show me.
So Ludo Sport, in its simplest term, is an Italian lightsaber fighting league. But it's very practicalized. The people in charge of it, the masters in Italy, study the forms from Star Wars, and they figure out how to make them safe-ish, well, more safe than most, and they created a whole league around it. When you start, you learn Form 1. You pass Form 1, you get Form 2, and then there's a whole bunch of other things that happen from there. I got mostly certified to teach Form 1, but I had to put a backbone on that. It's a very good community, and it's sword fighting-ish,
Yeah.
but instead of fencing traditionally where it's just forward and back, with Ludo sports, it's in a circle.
Oh.
And you're not always facing someone who has the same qualifications as you. Like me, who's only qualified to fight Form 1, can end up in the ring against one of the masters who made the sport.
Yeah, they know.
However, they have scoring differences to that effect to balance it. You're not just judged on how well you fight, and so you judge on both how well you fight in the circumstances you have and how many fights you win. Those two different matrices there.
Okay.
And all of that combines into your international ranking.
Okay. Are you ranked yet? Technically?
I haven't successfully competed in a tournament.
Oh.
There was a few I tried, but I was sick when that happened, so I didn't compete.
Okay. How long would you say you have been practicing Ludo sport now? Off and on, like cumulative, not straight through.
I started about 4 years ago now,
Okay.
and it's been slow, but I still practice the techniques I know once a week, twice a week sometimes.
Did I ask how you came across Ludo sport? Like fencing, PBS special, how did you come across Ludo sport?
So there's a activity I do called live action role play, which is like Dungeons and Dragons or Skyrim, but instead of sitting at a computer or at a table and holding dice, you dress up in costume like a Renaissance fair, or sometimes it's a science fiction event or post-apocalyptic, and you actually physically are your character, and there's mechanics to do the magic-y stuff.
Okay. Yeah, so...
And you're telling stories like that.
And then in there, somebody brought Ludo sport in and you saw it and you were like, ooh, I'm drawn to that?
Yeah, so the event I went to, Starfall Academy, is... I'm trying to think of how I could say this without getting Disney mad at us.
Don't sue us, Disney, please.
It's Space Wizards College.
Space Wizards College.
And they brought on a very well-respected Ludo sport practitioner to teach the light sword, or as we call it in that universe, crystal saber classes for the students.
Got it. And that was sort of your first introduction.
Yes, that's how I got started.
Okay, so you saw it. Did you go right up and talk to the instructor afterwards? Or did you sort of go and like do some research?
We talked for a while. We still talk every now and then.
Yeah.
And I tried taking an instructor's course with no training whatsoever, really.
How'd that go?
I failed.
Okay.
And then I tried again with a good bit of training in Form 1, but not complete. I failed again. And the last time I went, I got what's called a yellow. There's 3 different scores you can get when taking an instructor's course. There's red, you failed. Yellow, you pass with caveats. And then green is a full pass you can go teach on your own right now.
Okay.
Next to no one gets green anything on the first try.
So what were the things you had to clean up, or what are the caveats, sort of,
So
if you passed, but you can...
with me, I'm allowed to do discovery courses to get people in the door. And I'm allowed to teach Force Cross, which is the majority of Form 1.
Okay.
But I need to get cleared to teach Second Cross.
Got it.
Slightly more advanced techniques within Form 1.
Okay, and are you still actively practicing all these?
I'm trying. My life's gotten really busy. So I've put it kind of on the back burner.
Got it.
Until probably December when I finish firefighter training. I'm going to get back into Ludo sports.
So let's put Ludo sport on the back burner a little bit, because even though that's what we talked about when you first came in, you've been training with us here at Bare Knuckle Strength, me and Jeremy, to, well, why don't you tell everybody what you asked me when you first brought it up? Do you remember? I remember.
I
I'm
honestly
going to paraphrase.
I don't remember even which it you're talking about at the moment.
Okay, fair enough. No problem. So the first day I met you, you asked me what Ludo sport was. You said, have you ever heard of Ludo sport? It's something that I want to teach. Do you think it's possible that I might be able to do that here? But I didn't even know what it was. Do you kind of remember that being in that space with me?
Oh, yes.
It was for some of our first conversations.
Yeah.
Way back maybe in December, like when I first met you, I think. January-ish?
It was before that because...
Or November?
Even before that, because we brought it up and I gave you a demo in my Halloween costume.
That's right. And then you went to Thanksgiving with your grandparents who were up in Chalfont, and we talked about that. So,
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. So it was more like September, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Or like October of last year. And we're coming up on that now. So it's been almost a full year. Mm-hmm. And you said, hey, John, this is something that I really like to do. I am certified to teach most of this Form 1. Could I do that here? And so we've kind of started, part of your training physically is to get you ready to instruct, right?
Yep, as long as I keep showing progress on my end.
Bingo, right? And that's the thing that we kind of keep working towards. And so Ludo sport is something that's in your brain. It's clearly something you want to do, but we have this other physical pursuit that we've decided to take on, firefighting school.
Yes.
How did we get there?
So, firefighting as an interest started for me back at Maritime School because part of what we did was we trained to walk multiple days away from land. If you had a fire on your boat, you have to be able to handle it with just what's on your boat.
Okay. So what were the things that are on a boat that might be different to handle a fire that will be on land? Is there differences?
So, with boats, sometimes you have to deal with the cargo. Cargo could be different. There's different classifications of fire. Mm-hmm. There's, as I remember, with type A, my T-shirt's on fire. B is butane and liquid fuels.
Okay.
Type C has a current to it, electrical fires.
Okay, yep.
D, dang it, the boat's on fire.
Okay.
The actual metal of the boat.
Yeah. Okay.
And that one's tricky because what you could use to extinguish some fires, even Class D, could start other fires because of chemical reactions. You got to know which metals you're dealing with if it's a Type D fire. And then Type K is in the kitchen.
Like a grease fire or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Interesting.
And those, usually the apparatus has a built-in fail-safe to contain or put out the fire.
Okay. And then if for some reason it fails, you have to be ready just in case. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so you spend time kind of learning how to deconstruct and fight fire A, B, C, or D. Yep. And through that process, you're like, wow, this is something I really want to learn more about.
It was strangely calming going through those situations. More calming than just reading about it in books. There's, I think athletes call it the zone. There's a point in which you're so stressed, so much adrenaline, you're actually mentally calm.
Remember, you've told me recently that seems to be like your happy place. Like you can, whenever there's chaos, you look for it.
It's in the moment, it's my happy place.
Yeah.
But coming out of that, it still hits.
It takes its toll.
It takes a big toll.
What do you do to remedy that toll without suppressing it?
So I've gotten in the habit of when I am leaving the firehouse, be it for a training, a call, anything, I spend 5 or 10 minutes just sitting in my car before I do the 2-minute drive back to my apartment.
Got it.
And then I do another 5-minute check-in just before I get in the door. If I need to call someone, I call someone. We talk it out. I try my best to leave the call at the door.
Okay. So you have like a protocol, and that's what you go through before you walk in your front door. So you don't bring it home.
Yeah, if I can.
If you can.
If this hasn't happened, but if it's a situation where like I need support, and Lilo, and I needed Lilo.
Yeah.
I would have called someone, like my dad, said, meet me at my house, and then I would have gone in and tried to snuggle with Lilo, as an example.
Got it. Okay. So how long now have you been in firefighting school, or wanting to, like, when did you start that process?
So
since you back home?
I started as a probationary firefighter around last October.
Okay. So right when we sort of started
Yeah.
meeting. And that was because I remember it was sort of like health goals, and we wanted to become a ludo sport instructor was sort of like, these are the things, my goals to start, which quickly turned to, I got to be ready to firefight.
Ludosport was for fun.
Right.
Firefighting was to help the community, and that's a higher priority.
I need to be ready physically, mentally.
Yes.
All the things. Yeah. Okay. So what's your favorite part of firefighting school?
Well, I just started what we call Fire 1, which is the program that takes me from probationary to official. And that would let me put on the air pack and actually go into the building, among other things.
So you're in a probationary position inside the firefighting community?
So right now, I'm allowed to help on the outside of the fire ground. I can haul supplies back and forth. Mm-hmm. If needed, I could handle a hose outside of a burning structure.
Got it.
I'm not allowed in under any circumstance.
Got it. Yep. Okay. Do you find yourself wanting to be inside?
I find myself wanting to help however I can.
Okay.
If it means I'm allowed inside and I can go inside, yes.
Okay. Is that something you're willing to learn how to figure out in order to do that? Because you're going to have to learn it differently than those other guys.
Definitely.
Okay. What are the challenges you would come up against doing that?
Well, physically, I'm a bigger guy.
Sure.
But there's actually a surprisingly large number of those in the fire service. Mm-hmm. But like with me, it takes longer to go from book smarts and knowing the material to be able to instinctively act on that material.
To recall it up when you need it.
Once I get to the point I can recall it, I'm good.
Got it. Okay.
It takes longer, but it stays better.
Is that just like more repetitions of being around whatever it is that you need to recall until it becomes automatic?
More repetitions is the
Part
tool
of
everyone
it.
thinks of. But I use a technique that is also pretty strenuous just for conversation. Scripting. I'm planning a bunch of if-thens.
Got it.
And if I'm like bored at the firehouse, I'm running if-thens in my head.
Got it. Yep. Yeah.
And I'm asking questions about it if I need to, or if questions pop up.
Give us an example of an if-then so people understand. I know what you mean, but...
So if-thens, so like if this ladder falls or breaks, what do we do?
Then what's the next ladder, or how do we...
Then what's the next step?
Got it.
If I see flames coming out of the second story window when we thought there was already flames coming out off the first, how do we react?
Got it.
Things like that.
Yeah, okay. And this is all, you're just doing it mental, or you actually write these things down too?
I do it mentally
Okay.
because my handwriting sucks. It's worse than a doctor with a hand tremor.
Not even dictate or anything? Like.
Nope.
Okay. Okay, no,
Yeah,
no worries.
yeah.
So you're just kind of you're processing a lot
Yes.
most of the time, it
Yeah.
sounds like.
I do it driving to keep me focused on driving. When I'm doing boat stuff, I'm thinking of boat stuff. Mm-hmm. If-thens keep me occupied to the point I can focus as well. Going back to that minimum thought process count.
Okay. And that makes sense. Like the least amount of clutter inside your brain, the easier it should be to get to the thing that you have to execute, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So got you through high school, got you through college, have some ludo sport and some fencing, some fun outlets. We have firefighter school that we're in because I want to be a service to the community.
Yep.
Do you have anything else you want to say about all of that? Because there's some other avenues we've talked about and
There's a
can get
bunch
into.
of different things that we could hit on.
So anything that you'd like to say to anybody about any of those spaces, and then we can go off into the Never Never Land.
So a lot of these communities and services are still communities. Mm-hmm. Like firefighting, if they're keeping you around, they trust you, they want you there. Mm-hmm. And it's a brotherhood. We're there for each other. If you say, hey, this is going on, they're going to help.
Okay.
And honestly, I don't know anyone civilian side more loyal to each other than first responders.
So for you, it sounds like it's a place where you can go to be of service, but also a place that might be of service to you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even just knowing that they're there is an amazing source. Even though, like, I don't reach out for that mental help with them.
Yeah.
Just knowing that they're there is a mental help.
Yeah. Yeah. And it sounds like the people that you work with there, just they want to see the best for you and from you, and so they'll do what they need to do to make sure that happens for you.
Yes, that's exactly right.
So, if you're having a hard time with things, it sounds like maybe if you haven't found a community, like Zach said, or a right environment, keep looking, keep going. Hopefully there's an environment and some people that get you and resonate with you that you can be a brotherhood or sisterhood with, yeah?
And the power of the internet, you could find those groups way more easily.
How? You speak to that
just
a lot.
Just like
so...
Facebook, as much as there's trolls, people pretending, you could use it to find physical groups, like at a game store or a library meetup, or a running group.
Yep.
Just search like your location, what the hobby is on Facebook or on Google, you'll probably find it.
And like you found Ludo Sport and fencing, your dad does ultimate frisbee, so these environments where you can, the community of people that are very like-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's find you a like-minded community. If for some reason you're having a hard time finding one, maybe it's this one here. Hop into our community, because I don't know. I don't know about you, but I want to be around people like this more that want to be of service. They want to continue to learn. They want to do their best, even if they've had life throw them curveballs. And that's why I have Zach here today to kind of share more about what he's had to go through to get to this point. But also, we're going to open up some things here that y'all motherfuckers don't really know about yet, because this kid, he watches the news. He understands what's going on in the world on a level that I don't believe a lot of people understand or can even want to get to. We'll say fact checking and all these kinds of things. So, Zach, we put the bow on everything over there. We're good? You ready to?
Yep.
Okay. Where are we going first? What would you like to talk about that's going on in the world? We can do religion. We can do politics. We can do something else. Where do you want to go? What's on your mind? What's burning? Most people fake fine. Are you one of the few who will rise? Comment BKS below, and we'll arm you with the first tool to fight pain and build strength that's actually worth sharing. See you in the gym. Now back to the show.
So, I'm prefacing this, as I would probably say a few times. These are purely my opinions. They're not reflecting the fire academy, my fire department, or anybody or anything else. Okay, so...
heed that.
Where to begin? Okay, well, let's start with the insanity that is the Middle East.
Okay. Now, are we Israel?
Yeah.
Or just well,
Israel is the flashpoint of the Middle East right now.
Do we start with your religious background, maybe, so people have context?
Okay, yeah, we can start with that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I was brought up kind of practicing Judaism, not really that religiously. My grandma's more religious than I am, and I'm way more religious than my parents even most of the time. Or at least my brothers, depending on the day.
Fair, depending on the day.
So when I was bar mitzvahed, which is the coming of age ceremony for Jewish males.
13, 12?
At some point during your 13th year.
Gotcha.
if you're doing it alone. I had a project of keeping things local, but that was more environmental effects. But when I was going through that, I learned a bunch of the history of Judaism and drew parallels to a bunch of my own studies from the movies and fact-checking movies, which is a weird hobby in itself. But if you look back, the Middle East, even before Judaism was the thing, according to the Torah, was turmoil. And people were trying to lay claim to it before they knew oil was there.
Time period. AD, BC, where are we at? Roughly. Just for our historians.
Before Judaism even existed.
Okay, so if you do history, go before Judaism. Keep going, sorry.
And then the Jewish populations started. We didn't really we started in what became Jerusalem, but that took forever. We were in and out. We also had pockets and communities within other communities. And those Jewish pockets were generally more, I'm not even going to say, sometimes, we were more fiscally better off, but also the community was doing better. They were happier people most of the time. And I think people were jealous of that. So that's why a lot of things happened.
Everybody who wasn't a Jew, jealous of that? Or other people?
Just like other people who didn't know to ask to join in.
Got it. Okay.
They were just like, oh, I want that. I'm not going to figure out how they got it. I'm just going to try and take it.
Okay.
Try and take the easy road led to the hard road.
Okay.
And then, the issues with Crusades. Crusades were not only against the Muslim population. A lot of the time, they practiced on the Jewish communities before going to fight for Jerusalem. And the fall of the Second Crusade and the start of the Third, which is the time frame for one of my favorite movies, The Kingdom of Heaven, there's a lot of truth to that movie, though Hollywood does do some of it, as I like to tell you.
As they do. You shared that speech with me. That was a great speech.
Yeah. So there was actually peace and open trade between the Muslim communities and the Christians and the Jews, but there were just people who wanted more on both sides. They wanted war. They wanted it all for themselves at the end. And they had insane hubris most of the time. The Knights Templar, as an example.
Okay.
Templar was because they were meddling and tampering with the king's peace at Jerusalem.
Okay.
And there was a lot of disrespect sent specifically to the Muslims that I know about that had to be answered for. But after the first king, well, not the first king, the leper king who brokered the peace died. The one who was raised to his position was one of the Templars and declared war. Did extreme. I don't know if this part's actually true or not, but beheaded and defiled the cousin, I think it was, of Salahuddin, who was the head of the the Muslim army at the time. He was the head of the entire Muslim world, pretty much. And then they just kept fighting back and forth over Jerusalem after the peace. The Third Crusade happened to take it back after Jerusalem was lost. And there hasn't been a real period of peace since then. There was a chance for peace to last before that, but there hasn't been peace since that I know of.
Okay. Why is that something that hits so much in your heart that you want to talk about it?
So a lot of that is it's been a needless cycle. There's a quote from the Kingdom of Heaven. Well, actually, there's a bunch, but one that works here. We fight because of an offense that we did not give to those who were not alive to be offended.
Play that one back.
We are reacting and have justified the actions of those who came before us to those who came after those who were offended. And then the people who came after us have to defend our actions. It keeps cycling around. It's a feedback loop. And with the spread of information, misinformation, it's cycling even faster and faster into more extremes than it used to.
And if we're talking about Knights Templar, those are hundreds, thousands of years ago, and you're saying the cycle just basically has been continuing since then.
Yeah, more or less. And you can see these patterns continuing in other places. There's echo chambers that lead to people thinking they're right, social media, political groups from Russia to England, the U.S., everywhere. There are these echo chambers on all sides of the aisle.
What do you mean by an echo chamber? So people can understand.
You're really just communicating and listening to people who have similar views to you or will just agree with you.
Okay.
And you're kicking out anyone who really speaks up against.
So less open-minded or not open-minded?
Largely closed-minded.
Largely closed-minded. Okay. All right. So where do we go now? What's going on? Like, how do you see, is there a way for, if there hasn't been peace for thousands of years, and it's clearly something that's striking you in the heart now, I mean, if you've been paying any attention to the news, you know there's turmoil.
Yeah.
Right? So October 7th.
Yeah.
Do we go there? Where do you want to go?
So,
the other war.
Let me think. So the war that followed October 7th.
So for those that might not know, what happened on October 7th? Was it 23 or 4? 23, I think, yeah?
I think it was 3.
Okay, what happened?
So there was a music festival in Israel that was invaded by paragliders and an airborne force that no one saw coming. It was the greatest intelligence fluke I could think of from a intelligence agency that, honestly, I think is better than what America claims to have.
Whose intelligence agency was this?
It was Israel's intelligence agency, Mossad.
Okay.
So what happened was thousands dead, many taken prison, a lot of people dead. I don't know the numbers.
Okay.
Lots of people taking prisoners, Israelis, Americans. And then Israel, say by terror cells that were organized. Israel started a all-out war campaign. Do they have the right to defend themselves? Yes. Do they have the right to fight to get the civilians back? Yes. Are there casualties in war? Yes. Do I think they were going about it the right way most of the time? Maybe. The times that I've been seeing because of sensationalist media, it could go either way. A lot of the time, what we see is the bad side because that's what the enemy wants us to see. or what we see is the good side because that's what our side wants us to see. It's an information flood.
Okay.
So the truth is somewhere in the middle, but that point of view can skew based on how much of what side's information is reaching you and how much of it you're listening to.
If at all.
If at all.
Okay. So that October 7th attack happened. What was the retaliation? Like what? Because it hasn't stopped.
Yeah, retaliation hasn't stopped really.
Right.
I mean, we've had temporary ceasefires. Both sides blame the other for breaking. There's been other countries getting involved. Israel took the Gaza Strip, which they actually took in the first Yom Kippur War, which October 7th was, I believe, Yom Kippur that year as well.
Oh,
which is the holiest day for Judaism. It is our day of atonement. We are fasting. We are asking for forgiveness for our sins, not just from God, but from each other. And why they chose to attack on that day, it was I'm trying to think of how to word this. First off, it was just a massive affront. They could have attacked the day before or a day later. No, they attacked that day. And it's also, we've had war on that day already, in which we seized the Gaza Strip after. But by we, I mean Israel.
Okay.
And then during the wars the battles that followed October 7th, Israel pushed into Lebanon. Well, I don't agree with going into another sovereign state's area for no reason. Lebanon doesn't have the manpower, and even if they have the manpower, they don't have the organization to keep the missiles going from Lebanon into Israel. So Israel, in my opinion, have the right to go in, sweep, take out the missiles that are getting lobbed in, and then go back. Or at least dissuade the missiles from coming in.
Okay.
If you can't keep your people from attacking another country, then I think that country has the right to push its defense a little harder.
Okay. Yeah. And remember, that's his opinion. And if you have something to say about it, feel free to put it in the comments and tag me in it, because you can talk to me about it first, and then I'll bring it to Zach, okay? Because it's an opinion.
Yeah. Though, again, just the brute force tactics Israel has been doing, at least in the media clips I've been seeing, I don't agree with that part of it.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we are. We have turmoil in the Middle East. You have Israel and the Jews going into Lebanon to stop bombs coming back into Israel.
Yeah. Stop flow of weapons.
Stop the flow of weapons.
Stop missiles getting launched in.
Yep.
Because, Israel has right now the best known anti-missile system, but it can only do so much, and there's only so many missiles that can be made at a time, and it's expensive.
Right. Okay. So I asked you this in class, and hopefully you're okay. If you don't want to go down here, nope, not today. But are you okay if we kind of talk about your religion?
Yeah, definitely.
And why some people, you kind of alluded to it a little earlier, in that it seemed like some people had these resources, other people wanted those resources. Instead of learning how to get those resources, they just killed the people that had them and took it. So my question to you, Zach, and this was and again, if you have anything to say, you're going to direct this to me, because I'm curious about this. Why is there anti-Semitism? Why do people hate Jewish people? It seems so much.
So a lot of it, I think, in modern day is a combination of there's not many of us. Those of us who are visible or visibly successful, and just generations of passed on hatred that was in the shadow that is being seen as acceptable now.
So generational hate.
Generational hate that is getting its time in the spotlight again.
Is that something that can change in your estimation?
So, yes, there is a few ways I could think of.
Yeah.
The first way I could think of is they want the spotlight. Give them the spotlight to show them the wrong. Show them, hey, you're doing this for a reason that doesn't actually line up. And maybe poke holes in the argument big enough that even they could see there's a hole there.
I.e., these people, I don't like Jewish people. I'm going to kill and attack them.
Why?
For their resources, but we're going to shine a light on, why are you doing that?
Yeah. Why do they have the resources and you don't?
Right.
Show the receipts of why they have it and you don't.
And why aren't you willing to learn how to do it? And just, is it a right for you to go take it? No, it's not. So why are we not learning how to do these things? Why are people just becoming barbarian?
Yeah.
Like basically being animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can we evolve past this? Do you think?
I think as species, yes. As a society, it'll be a different type of society when we figure it out.
Okay, so societies, we know it would have to shift.
It would have to be like society 2.0 at that point. So right now, with capitalism, communism, socialism, I think we'll end up, if we move past this issue, the anti-Semitism stemming from resource wars, and resource wars in general, will end up something akin to the world of Star Trek, actually. Not the ships and the exploration, but that too, hopefully. But where everyone has what they need and the welcome to go explore and better themselves. Do the jobs that are fulfilling. Do the jobs that need doing. But they're still provided for as a valued member of society because they're working as a member of society. They could do better, they can make better, they can elevate themselves
Yes.
by their actions.
And so what are these resources that people think Jews have that they don't have?
Money, food, water, happiness even. Being jealous of someone's social life is a resource that people don't really understand. Having someone you could call on. Kind of like the mafia almost.
Different topic, yeah.
I don't know much about that world, but like you mess with me, you're messing with my entire crew.
Got it, right. It's not just me, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And being able to call a favor, ranging from violent favors to just, hey, I need a prescription. Can you get me in to see the doctor?
So it's some kind of just like sick, baser instinct like jealousy. I just don't like that you seem to be smarter than me and have more things, and I don't feel like learning how to get them, so I'm just going to take them and kill you.
Yeah. So one of the things with Judaism, I know it's true for the rabbis. I'm not entirely sure if it's true for everybody else, but a rabbi at least, they have to live in a town with a school. If there's not a school, they have to open a school. They have to let their children engage in education. There are some sects in Judaism where the rabbi is supposed to be questioned in open concourse, even in the middle of like the meal after the service. And they're even expected to lay traps to be questioned.
We were kind of talking about that a little the other day.
Yeah, we will. Judaism and the parts of it I like, encourages the questioning of itself. It wants you to say, hey, why is this? Not just it is.
Give an example of something you would question.
So with the rules of kosher,
Okay.
you can't have meat and dairy in the same meal.
Why?
Well, the rule actually is you can't have the meat of the kid and the milk of the mother in the same meal. But it's just way easier to say you can't have meat and dairy.
Sure.
So when I was studying for my bar mitzvah, I was walking around Brooklyn and I engaged a rabbi in scholarly debate outside of a synagogue. I brought up that I had a way in theory to make a kosher cheeseburger. I'm like, hypothetically,
Okay. And?
I have kosher beef, which
Yeah.
does exist, it's just extra expensive, and goat cheese. I know the goat was raised in a healthy manner. I know the cow was raised in a healthy manner. I know that there's no way the cow is the offspring of the goat. And then the rabbi shot back with, yes, but how do you know no cow's milk was mixed in? I'm like, well, there's actually a margin of error with all foods in Judaism. When we have to clear our leavened bread out of our houses for one of the holidays, there is an amount that's allowed to be left as a mistake, as a margin of error, because we know mistakes happen.
Sure. Yep.
And I'm like, the amount of dairy in a cheeseburger is so small that it's almost the amount that is that margin of error in the first place.
He wasn't having it?
Oh, he laughed and loved it.
Oh, he was like, maybe we could think that was okay?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So he was like, okay, so we can... So you weren't shot down. You really were allowed to question. And if anything, it gave you a little bit of confidence moving forward that like you have opinions and thoughts that matter too in the bigger world and bigger
Yes.
scope of things.
And then he actually brought it up to his council of rabbis, apparently. And another rabbi I know got wind of that. I was like, wait, did you have something to do with this? I'm like, yep.
So do we have the Jewish cheeseburger stand somewhere? Or
Nope.
No, not yet?
Because they said it's
Not quite. Yeah.
It's still just...
We're debating.
It's simpler and more efficient, and still like it's safer to hold the standard. And if you know the exception, you can do it,
Yes.
but don't bring down the whole system with it
So it's eating them at the same time or in the same meal?
in the same meal.
So you couldn't have a bite of burger and then cheese and
Correct.
technically say that was okay.
If it was a plant burger,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
And weirdly enough, chickens.
Like a chicken burger or chicken
So
breast or something?
the chicken egg is considered pork, which is neither meat nor dairy.
Okay.
However, a chicken is meat.
Clearly.
But why is the egg pork? Why does it not count as meat at that point?
See, there's a lot of gray there, isn't there? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I love that you live in the gray.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now, where are we at? Moving forward, we talked to the rabbi. You in particular seem to like the sect where you can question. So that seems there's some extremes that
Even though that sect is also the most strict on following all the rules of the Torah, which is not something I can do.
Are we talking Hasidim?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yep.
So, and like Kabbalism. People use Kabbalah as a term for like a shadow government. Kabbalah is just one of the books that is in addition to the Torah for some sects of Judaism.
Okay.
It does not mean a shadow organization or a shadow government.
Okay.
It's been co-opted into that.
Okay. All right. That was an interesting aside. We went from war to cheeseburgers and let's see.
Welcome to my head.
Yeah, nice. Zach, I love it here.
Yeah.
This is the chaos that I love being calm. And I just want to continue to learn more.
Okay.
So where do we go from here? Tying all those things together, what's the next step in your head?
So going from there, the thought of scholarly debate
Yeah.
and listening to the arguments and trying to understand them is a good path to peace. Stop to listen before you just plow ahead.
So something like this here where we sit down and have a conversation about it?
Exactly.
Okay. No, see, that was a great tie-in. So we brought that all full circle. Full circle.
Yep.
Ah,
Yep.
Got it. All right. So we can tie that in, and if we can sit down and have talks about these things, it's not going to be perfect. You said even in the teaching environment, you might not find the perfect environment, but learn to find the better environment for you. And in a talk, really, it's about listening, it sounds like, and not just being waiting to talk.
That is correct.
Okay.
And if you're wondering, what can I do
Yes.
as an individual?
You out there, what can you do?
You're one person. If you can get one other person to listen, and they can get one person to listen, eventually there's enough of us that the government's going to notice, and like in the U.S., our votes will change the administration as it's supposed to do, and perhaps it'll be an administration that's more willing to listen.
Zach, are you saying that people need to be willing to change themselves and not just scream into an echo chamber and expect the government to change first? That's too logical.
And going beyond that, I believe it's like this in Norway. You have to vote. You're allowed to vote abstention, saying I don't want to vote, but you have to at least let them know that.
Right. Okay.
Which is something I really want to see.
So at the very least, you have everybody that is, you need to vote. That's what your duty as a citizen here.
They bend over backwards to give you every possible chance to vote. Oh, you don't have a ride to the polling station? We'll get you a ride. Oh, you're not going to be there? We'll securely get you an absentee ballot, and then we'll securely pick it up. Things like that.
Yeah, so they go the extra mile for it.
And you're not allowed to work on election day. The country is closed.
Okay, so pretty much you're not doing anything that day.
Yeah.
Except being a part of the civic duty.
Yeah. Well, when I was at McDaniel, I had an exam on election day, and I couldn't get an absentee ballot because there was trickery with computers that messed up. So I would have had to, I didn't have a car yet. I would have had to go from campus to the polling place, which was a 3-hour drive.
You didn't have your oil tanker?
Nope. And that would have been even slower before polling ended.
Got it.
And the exam was like supposed to be noon or 2, so I would not have had time to make that go.
Right.
And I wouldn't have had time to do it before either.
And nobody gave a shit, really, because they were like, your school was like, you need to be here and take the test. And
they're like, well, you should have gotten an absentee ballot. I'm like,
right.
But I wasn't allowed an absentee ballot.
Right.
I remember you were allowed an absentee ballot for, I am a student overseas, I am on vacation overseas, or I am military deployed. There was nothing for I am a student out of state.
Really?
Really.
How is that not a thing?
Because somebody disabled that link.
Interesting.
And they couldn't fix it in time for whatever reason.
Is it fixed now?
It's been fixed.
Okay. All right. Where do you want to go now?
So, last night, one of the many trains of thought I had after my fire training, which got out at 10 at night, was I was trying to come up with a compromise for a lot of people on the right want people to have an ID to vote. And then my idea of, yes, but I want everyone to have the option to vote.
Like you just said.
And a compromise I thought of that I want you to try and poke holes into is a 4 or 8 year time frame where states and the federal government are going around giving people a real ID, which is the standard that IDs need to be able to fly and things like that. And the concept I had was a mobile ID team. They would drive to communities where people would otherwise have to drive an extremely long way, or fly to communities where people don't really have access to a DMV or whatever that state's equivalent is to go get an ID. And I thought, oh, what if I lost my ID or someone stole it and the election's coming up, there's not enough time to get the ID back? Like, okay, well, you could register with a click of a button when you go to replace your ID to get an absentee ballot at the same time. The spin-off of that idea was, the first part of it was I wanted to come up with a way where if, say, 2/3 of all American citizens who are allowed to vote want something, they could override Congress and force the president to make a decision on something.
What would they want? What do you mean?
Like, hypothetically, 2/3 of America wanted to change a rule or get rid of a law.
Okay.
So, say 2/3 of Americans want to expand the American Disabilities Act to the point where we actually have to save more than $2,000 at any given point.
Okay.
Which is an issue I deal with. Then 2/3 of people vote on this issue because, say, enough governors wanted it there, or the president put it on the ballot. I don't have a way to get that part of the ballot set up yet. I haven't thought of that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But 2/3 of Americans say, yes, this is an issue. This is what I want solved.
Mm-hmm.
They could act as Congress as well, besides just having Congress constantly bickering and worrying about their seats.
It's like the People's Congress almost, because
So,
they've
yeah.
60% or more.
Yeah,
basically.
adding essentially a third house to Congress, which is the direct vote of the people. But the counterbalance is, it's not how many people vote, it's out of how many people are allowed to vote.
Which would be all American citizens in your estimation.
All American citizens over 18 have the right to vote.
Yes. So initial... Okay, sorry.
With some exceptions of
Sure.
of 13th Amendment punishments, like convicted felons and such. And that's state by state.
Sure. Our exceptions, our caveats.
Yes, there are always exceptions.
Is that argument presented? Anything else?
That's the basic idea.
Basic concept?
Yeah.
My initial hole poking comes from how because in Norway you said it's mandatory.
Yes.
Is it enforced?
There is heavy fines if you do not make an attempt.
Okay, so that because it was initial like think about how America became America, right? Like,
yeah.
You were telling us we have to do this, and we were like, no, we don't.
Yeah.
So we're going to go build our own thing.
With America becoming America,
Right.
we didn't have a vote. Now the problem is people aren't voting, and then they're complaining about how things are going without voting.
So we didn't have a vote in England. We break away to give ourselves a vote, and now we don't have people who are even checking in and voting.
That is one of the problems I'm trying to solve.
Is that not like a full circle thing right there? We went from it being not a thing to a thing to not a thing, and now we're in the middle.
And people are kind of just complacent in thinking government doesn't care, which is why I thought of what if we give people a direct vote beyond just the representatives, the will of the people as a whole.
Isn't that what elected officials are supposed to do anyway? Be the mouthpiece of the people?
Elected officials are the voice of the people who elected them. So
Good distinction. Okay.
So, like,
not all the people.
The situation in Texas where Democratic state-level representatives left because gerrymandering issues. A lot of people are saying, well, they're not representing Texas. They're not representing Texas. Exactly. They're representing the Democratic constituents who want a voice. And the voice is being silenced, so in protest, they're breaking quorum, which is what the Democratic constituents would want.
Okay. Interesting. So is it like negative reinforcement clearly has worked and works in the past, i.e., if you don't do this thing, you're going to have a punishment? Is that the way we want to run things going forward? Is that, unfortunately, how humans respond?
So I think things work best with negative and positive reinforcement in scale. So
Context.
like with the way Norway does their voting. Yes, if you don't vote, you're getting fined. But you got your say counted. You have a voice. You have a chance at change.
By not voting.
No, by voting.
Okay.
So you really have to weigh that. And you're allowed to say, I don't want to vote.
Right.
But you made that fact known as well.
So it's like it could be candidate A, candidate B, or C. I'm not voting for either of them.
Yeah, or you could do a write-in if you really wanted to.
Right,
Yes.
but you're actually saying it, not
Yes.
just staying away and omitting and saying, this isn't working for me.
And with the anonymity of votes, you could just check in at the vote counter and then walk away. That could count as abstention.
Okay.
Instead of casting about it, because you could just put in an empty slip or
You
whatever.
showed up and did the action. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What would be a positive way? So if we're negatively reinforcing through like a fine, how are they being positively reinforced?
So you could say you show up, there's lunch available. Things like that, especially in communities where food could be an issue.
Interesting. Oh, okay. All
Or
right.
you could get local sponsors to say, hey, you showed up, here is a 50% off coupon or who knows what. Get the community involved in finding what the community needs or wants and make that a reward for just showing up. Not voting in any particular way, but just showing up.
I know this is going to sound weird. Go with me. This is how my brain works.
Okay?
So it reminds me of a story I heard. I was reading this book. Pretty sure it was Your Dog is Your Mirror or the Pitbull book. One of the two books about dogs. These two women were in rural West Virginia attempting to go to residents and have them spay and neuter their dogs for free. They were going up on their doors and saying, hey, we would like to just, because there's a population being overrun. It was causing issues, disease, things like that. Too many animals, more sickness than could be handled, right?
Yep.
So these women are like, we will spay and neuter your animals for free. And people were not allowing that to happen. And this woman had an idea and she's like, well, what are the things that they like? And so she would show up with like toys for the kids and like a 6-pack for dad and like something for mom. And then all of a sudden they were starting to get the dogs permission to spay and neuter these dogs. So it was almost like, we have this action that we'd like to complete and we'd like to reinforce that positively by giving you some things we know you can use. Is that okay? So is something along those lines.
Yes, something to get them in to start the conversation.
And I don't see that as like taking advantage or bartering versus like, okay, we know this is good for your animal and this is something that could be good for you because you have less resources. So we want to make sure that you have the things that you need that are important to you, we'll say.
Yeah.
And those could be a list of things that it might not be beer, but
It's an example.
it's an example, okay?
Yeah.
Like, we get the idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, like, so it's conversations like these, one-to-one. So, like, you're getting me to listen right now, right? I know when you're in my room and I'm saying things about certain thing, you're like, John, I want to get better at this movement for whatever, and I start talking about how it can go, and you start listening. So, like, having our skills that we have and then finding other people who are as skilled in what they know and leveraging those skills together.
And even not as skilled in what they know, but maybe someone who wants to learn the skill.
Even that.
Complementary skills need to be built.
Right.
And your skills need to get passed on at the same time.
And all of them need to continue to get sharpened.
Yep.
Otherwise, they go dull and nothing happens.
But also, if you go too sharp, you're too specialized.
Right.
The blade breaks in the analogy of a sword or a knife.
Hmm.
You need to find that balance of generalized enough that it's applicable in most situations,
Okay.
but sharp enough that it's still effective.
Do you want to talk about weapons and stuff? Or is that another one? Another time.
I had an analogy I was on the tip of.
That's all right. Come back to it.
Okay, so kind of going actually into weapons a bit.
Let's do it.
So
This guy studies weapons.
the saying "no man is an island."
Right.
So with the American Navy, we're focused on our aircraft carriers. We have, I believe, 11 of them right now. One thing that makes our carriers different from almost every other aircraft carrier or Navy is our carriers do not travel alone. They have massive fleets of supplementary and support vessels to do the things it cannot. Yes, the aircraft carrier is the focus. It is the center. But there are ships that specialize in handling small craft that could be a threat. There's ships that the whole job is to carry fuel and ammo for the jets, but the jets in turn provide the protection. There's ships that deal with submarines, usually other submarines. There's ships that do anti-aircraft and air defense. They work together as a unit, even though they all have their own specialties and areas they overlap.
So it works not in theory, clearly in practice, but for the protection of the greater good of the country. How do we get people to buy in to having talks like this inside their communities, but they're not being bombed and threatened?
Okay, so here's another example. Here's another example, though it is also a more intense situation. There's, in a surgery, there's the surgeon.
Yep.
But there's also nurses handling all sorts of different things within the surgery. There's the anesthesiologist who's keeping you sedated.
Right.
There's someone whose job it is to monitor your vitals. Someone keeping the blood flow from getting in the way. Someone in charge of handing the surgeon the instruments. All sorts of people. They have specialties.
Correct.
And advanced surgeries where there's multiple things happening at the same time, maybe different surgeries need to be performed at once. They're all coming together to protect and save you.
Correct.
They each have their own job. Yes, some jobs are higher paid than others, but without everyone, it would fail, the patient would die.
Let me poke a hole. All of those people are there to get paid. That's their job. That's what their livelihood is, not just to save you.
Yes. However, would you rather they get paid, or would you rather end up dead?
Well, goes to your other point of, so the aircraft carrier, the incentive there is if we don't protect each other, we end up dead.
Yes. With communities, if we don't work and build our community, we stagnate.
Yes.
If we stagnate, someone coming more advanced, that either co-opt us or destroy us. We need to find a way to keep the community stable, keep the community growing. Otherwise, it gets overtaken either forcefully or hopefully peacefully. There's a historical example I have. The Harappan in ancient Africa. Literally the first known city. When they were taken over, there's the only existing written record is in a book called the Rig Vedas, which translates to the truth. However, the Rig Vedas says it was a military victory because the Harapan were peaceful people, and they didn't have a military whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the archaeological evidence, it was a slow co-opting and conglomeration of ideas because people listened. Mm-hmm. But the group that came in had better, more advanced ideas that won out over the more simple and outdated ideas of the Harapan people. And that identity was lost as a result.
And never regained.
Never regained. It wasn't a violent solution.
Yeah.
It wasn't a violent end, but it was still an end.
Yes. Yeah. Is that a full circle? Is that if we don't do anything?
If we don't do anything, we will end.
It will end.
Violently or not, it will end.
It will end.
Everything ends.
Everything ends.
But you also don't want to just accept it and sit down.
Okay. So I'm going to bring this point back up. We talked about this, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe. But I asked you, is the American experiment over? What did you say?
This version of it, or something like that.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
And it's like we're working on the 2.0 version.
Yeah.
Kind of what you've been saying. So that's where all these bugs, we're working out all these bugs.
Yeah. Initially, America existed.
Right.
The Constitution didn't exist yet.
Yep.
There was the Articles of Confederacy that were drawn up, I believe, at some point towards during or after the Revolutionary War. Mm-hmm. But like, the office of the president didn't exist. There was no taxes. These were holes that had to get flushed out, and then we tried that with the original Constitution. And we knew that wasn't complete, so we had amendments very quickly thereafter, then slowly over the course of the years, things that we needed changed. Well, the Constitution can change, in my opinion. It's to be built in, and it should be changed more often than it is.
Okay. Or upgraded or updated, maybe?
Updated.
Yeah, if you will.
So there's 2 amendments that speak to this issue. There's the infamous Prohibition, which gave rise to organized crime in America. And then years later, there was an amendment that revoked the amendment that had Prohibition. We acknowledged the mistake on a constitutional level, and we fixed it on a constitutional level.
And was that a net positive for our country?
It was.
Okay.
And we admitted our mistake as a country, and we fixed it.
What process did they have to go to fix it?
So to pass a constitutional amendment, there are 2 ways. One, you get a supermajority, which is 2/3 of the House of Representatives and 2/3 of Congress, to agree on the amendment. The other way is a constitutional convention where the governors of all the states come together, and 2/3 of them have to agree to write an amendment, and then Congress has to still ratify it with the supermajority.
Okay.
But if the Constitutional Convention starts it, it's in theory way more likely that Congress will approve it. And the governors speak for those states and are usually not federal voting on anything. They just deal with the state.
And does this not happen now because of the more corruption in our system?
It happens because of the corruption and the divide.
Got
You're
it.
less like people want a middle ground, but we're not given a middle ground. So when new governmental parties form, they form at the far edges, the extreme left, the extreme right. My opinion, if you want to fix the federal government, you need new parties coming more towards the center, out, instead of the outside in.
Yep. And we were talking about that the other day. And what did you
Yes,
say,
sir.
the Green Party?
Green Party, the Tea Party,
Yeah.
are those parties.
I called one the Purple Party, where the blue and the red meet. There's something right there to be said.
And then I came back with it shouldn't be just one purple party. There should be two.
Yeah.
One a little more blue, one a little more red.
And I can live with that, but they're still purple because they have some of each.
Yes.
Yeah, and
It shouldn't just be independent.
No.
It should be a spectrum.
yeah. So across spectrum, like the autism spectrum.
Yes.
Oh.
And tying it back to that,
How about that?
I disagree with autism being a spectrum.
Okay.
But that's on a technicality. A spectrum is a single slide, left or right. Where do you fall between? There's so many variations and deviations on autism. It's more akin to the color wheel that people are taught in art class. Where are you on this 2 or 3 dimensional plot, not just left or right, more or less?
So more of a circle, less of a line.
Yes.
And to your point, coming full circle and being able to continue to move, it sounds like, instead of stop. So what's the difference then between a spectrum and a continuum then? Or is there one, do you see?
Continuum keeps going. There's
You can go left to right, up and down, circular, doesn't matter.
so going to geometry terms as an analogy, a spectrum is a line. There's a line segment. There's a clear point and a clear end. A continuum is either a line or a ray. A line goes infinitely in both directions.
Right.
A ray has a start point, but it doesn't have an end point. It'll just keep going.
Got it. Okay.
Those are continuums, in my opinion, because they'll keep continuing.
Interesting. Let's bring that back to the spectrum. Why do you disagree with autism being a spectrum?
So, I don't know if
And is a spectrum like normal autistic? Is that?
Yeah, that's what people think of, or at least what I think people think of when they see autism spectrum.
Got it. Okay.
But it's kind of like if you're playing a modern video game, doing character creation. There's so many different options and sliders and micro adjustments you can make that any one of them could be more or less symptomatic, and at which point is the culmination of all those points autism, as opposed to just, oh, you have enough symptom. Which symptoms in which way and which amounts?
To be more specific, if we're going to label it that.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, brother, we're like at like an hour and 45. We've
Wow,
really
we've been going.
Dude, we blink and here we are.
Yeah.
So that we've covered a lot today. We've talked about Zach Davies, where you come from, what you've gone through, what it's like to live as Zach, right? Growing up Zach, not growing up Zach's dad, right?
I knew you'd read the book back into this.
Of course,
I was waiting for
well,
it.
the truth is, I think it's important for people to understand the crossovers here.
Yeah.
So I work hard to, if you make a point and like your dad made a point, if I can connect them somehow, they can go back and be like, oh yeah, there it comes full circle. So you and I are very similar that way. Because when it connects, I believe it's easier, simpler, or better for people to get it, understand it, and then do it themselves, if you will. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
That definitely tracks.
Cool.
A random bit of information. There's a reason that random bit of information came up. Follow it. And honestly, that's a fun thing I do. Like, oh, why did I think about that? Let me trace this conversation. Sometimes it ends up going back 10 minutes. Sometimes it's a movie I saw 10 years ago.
Okay. So be a little interested and self-reflective inside of what's going on, and don't necessarily like push aside thoughts if you don't know what they mean.
Yeah, and applying that to the outside world. Oh, why is that information coming to me? Let me follow that chain of information back to its source, see if I can trust it or not.
How many sources should a person go back and look at?
The scholastic answer, if I'm correct, is 3.
Three sources.
3 valid sources for it to be considered a valid argument at the scholastic level.
And all 3 of those to corroborate the same piece of information.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay. So to that end, Is there? I usually ask like a final question and something like that. But the truth is, Zach, you're full of so much knowledge. You have so much to offer. I don't want to pull something out of you. What would you like to offer as a final statement for people? Or do you want to ask them a question to think about, and maybe they can put a comment in the comments below? Is there anything you'd like to finish on?
Well, I have a thing. How do I want this? So I have a few things. One is a question.
Please.
One is a goal I want them to do.
Sure. Yep.
And the other is a statement.
Okay.
So the statement. I know I've probably pissed people off with some of the ideas I shared, at least politically. Figure out why it pisses you off, and fact check it. Fact check your research before you make an argument here. I know I pissed you off pissed off somebody is the argument, so it's a statement.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is I want you to figure out why,
Mm-hmm.
and the request is you fact check yourself on why, and then come to us if you think it passes muster for a collegiate argument.
So let's do this, Zach, because you are great at hunting down facts. Offer people an avenue to find these facts. How can they do that?
Okay, so if you watch as much YouTube as I have, there's a tool called Ground News, which fact checks, shows you who owns what information, where they lean, and helps you find blind spots in your own feed. I'm not sponsored by them. I have friends who have that service. I don't have that service myself, but I have used it.
Okay. So Ground News.
Yep. And then there's, I think it's ground.news is the URL. I've gone to Wikipedia. I'll admit it. But I don't use Wikipedia as a source. I look at its sources, and then I go to find 3 sources for the source that Wikipedia has. And at that point, if I think the 3 sources look good, they're not using emotional reasoning, they're using logical reasoning, then I'm more inclined to trust it. And cite your sources. Don't just say, hey, this is what I saw. Say, this is where I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it way more trustworthy.
Anything else?
Don't be afraid to ask questions. Just listen to the answers. Leave it at that.
Everybody, make sure we're fact checking. If you have, if Zach pissed you off, it wasn't Zach, but okay. If he pissed you off, can you leave a comment for us and tell us what you're pissed off about? Can you then
find out why?
Find out why, right? And then give us a source or two that you've looked at. And if it's different than what Zach has said, then we have a reason to have a conversation, don't we?
Yes, and I will admit when I'm wrong. I'll go online, I'll come back, and I'll say, hey, you showed me my mistake. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that many times, and I'm happy to do it again.
Perfect. This is a place where people can come and talk about things that are challenging and hard. We do not do inflammatory. We're not going to fight it out. So do not leave comments on this video that are just you being pissed off and pissing into the wind, because I promise you, I will hop into the comments and you will answer to me, and you won't like it, because I go all the way to the rabbit hole. Let's have a real conversation. Come to the table. Zach and I just sat here for 2 hours. This is what it takes, coming to and staying at the table. Zach, thank you so much, my friend.
Happy to be here.
Everybody else, we love you. Have a great day. Be well.
Best of luck.
Are you having a hard time fitting in? Same here. I am not okay. For the longest time, I was faking fine. I had to learn how to speak the unspoken and find my truth. If you are ready to find your truth, please comment below FINE, FINE, in all caps, and I'll send you the first step. Welcome to our community, where it's okay to not be okay. See you on the inside.